I was 19 years old. The guy was 30-something.
Oh!
He has 120 fights and 4 draws. So 120 victories and 4 draws. You know, he was never being defeated.
Wow.
And my father pulled me to, I was crazy about representing, and he kind of received a call from the manager of this other guy. And he set up a fight. I said, no, I'm sorry, I don't have nobody to fight. And then I said, Dad, please pull me in, pull me in, pull me in. I said, I have a kid here, 19 years old. and the manager said, no, master, this guy is professional, he's a very tough guy. And as the guy tried to take my father out of the deal, my father got excited because he felt like, oh, I'm gonna have to put this kid to prove himself. But he's good, he can handle, so he set up a fight with me, with this guy. His name is Zulu. And I was there to fight the guy. And he have a trademark move which comes like he starts and then he block himself to don't get punched. He get close to you, put one hand between your legs and lift you and throw you back on the floor. Like it's like a move he always does. Mm. As he approached that, I was quick, moved myself back and hit him with my knee with the best hit I could ever possibly think. And in my mind, I said, I win the fight. For sure, it was a knockout. And after that, he just shook his hand, spit a tooth, and ready to for more. I said, wow. So that's taken me out of my comfortable zone in terms of nothing is what I expect.
Right.
And the fight goes on because it was 10 minutes rounds, unlimited number of rounds. So when the first round ends, I was dead tired, full of his blood, and I was crawling to my corner, and I said, Dad, there's no way, I cannot go back there. And my dad not even listened to me. He says, oh, you're doing great, now he's worse than you, now you're gonna kick his ass and this and that. I said, Dad, I'm serious, I'm just dead here, I cannot go. And I start to argue with my dad, and my brother Halls throw me a bucket of ice and water in my head. And then the round bangs like bells again, and I went to the fight. And like my dad said, I beat the guy in 3 minutes because he was already tired. I could get a good position and choke him out. And I noticed my worst enemy at that point was my own mind playing tricks on me. Tell me I don't have enough, tell me I was tired, tell me I'm gonna lose. So my mind was completely against my purpose. And I felt like I could not let this happen ever. So after that fight, I make a statement in my spiritual, in my mind. I said, I'm not gonna quit anymore. I prefer to die than think I have to quit. So since then, I already creating an element of I'm going with 100%, and if I fail trying, so be it. But there's no quitting, there's no expectations, there's no, oh, that's got harder and stuff. So based on that, I bring myself mentally to a next level. Was an obstacle, which to jump that obstacle, I have to see life different after that.
Need motivation?
Watch the Top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men all my life. Like na 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 na. For my top 10, top 10, na 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 na. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Rickson Gracie, and my take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, extend service.
Martial arts is different than a game.
Correct.
When you learn martial arts, your needs are to become self-confident within, in order to become more peaceful, in order for you to become better in strategize your life, controlling emotions, be more disciplined. I mean, all the elements within martial arts, they are complete when you extend this service of martial arts for real life situation.
Right.
As you stay away from the real life, you become more like rules, sport, competitions, medals, but you go away from the core of why you practice. Becomes more like an activity than a functional aspect of your code, you know, of being a human being and be able to capitalize on all the elements of your inner peace, strength, you know, strategy, and so on.
Rule number 3, be patient and visualize.
Patience is something, is a very important thing for a warfare situation. I'm not saying about a 5 minutes round, but if there's no limits, sometimes you have to get patience to cook the guy in slow burn until you'll be able to win the guy, because he's 80 pounds, 60 pounds, sometimes heavier than you. So be patient, be emotional control. Breathing is such a very important tool for you to know how to deal and control your emotions, you know. Visualization is another tool which, if you're not visualizing and planning a good strategy in your mind, sometimes you don't have by visualization, you're creating an extra experience. You become experimenting, winning in a 10-second fight, winning in a 2 minutes fight, winning in a 3-hour long fight. And if you keep your mind set, visualization, situations where you can get punched, you get knocked down, but you still kind of putting guy fading away, putting the guard. So you have to visualize the worst moments, the worst situations in order for you to cope with the unpredictable.
Rule number 4, be unified in mind, body, and spirit.
You fought in no-holds-barred tournaments, which is important for people to understand. You fought where people would show up at your training facility to challenge you and show up to hurt you.
Yes.
And how, with all that expectation, with so much physically riding on the line in so many of these fights, how did you control your mind? Like, how do you get control of the field?
Yes, I think what's crucial for me was the deep understanding. All my practice, all my talent, all my physicality is not going to be enough. All my thinking, all my emotional control, all my strategy is not going to be enough. All my surrender, all my capacity to accept death is not going to be enough if they come in separate. I think we have to, in order for us to grow as a spiritual warriors, no matter if it's physical or just theoretical, your growth to facilitate your life, to conquer things, to be happy, you have to have a good unified body in terms of body, mind, spirit. You have to understand your physicality, you have to understand your mind, you have to understand your spirituality. Because those 3 things combined make you feel powerful. How I could engage in a fight, a serious fight like that, with no time limits, no weight division, no rules basically, no mouthpiece, no cups, no. So you basically go for a unpredictable situation. How I could go just by be trained with a guy 60, 70 pounds heavier than me. So just being prepared, just being talented is not enough. Just be able to focus and be strategically correct is not enough. I have to have the spirituality to say, today is a great day to be in a battle. If I have to depart today from a different dimension, I will be grateful to get here that far. So I was accepting death in order to be comfortable in hell. Because how a fireman can leave home disregarding the possibility he can be the last day. Because he can be and try to save a kid in a building and die. How a police officer can leave home without knowing the possibilities he may have to get shot. If you don't realistically believe on those possibilities, you should not be a police officer, you should not be a fireman, you should not be a fighter like myself in that kind of perspective of unpredictability.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, be open-minded.
Once you have an open mind in any activity you do,
Okay.
and somebody coming to you and enlighten you with something, and you're gonna say, wow, man, I spent 20 years and I never saw this. So I feel like that's a huge motivation for you to rebirth, for you to reinvent yourself and keep going, because that's your passion. So imagine yourself driving a Porsche, but you didn't even know it's a 4th, 5th, and 6th gear. You just were 1, 2, 3, and you stop on 3.
Right, okay.
So the engine goes, but
That's a good analogy.
I mean, and then I say, hey man, you have the 4th and the 5th. When you really go into the freeway, you can put 4th, 5th, and 6th. Wow! So the engine, everything becomes, you know, if you like to drive, you're gonna have a different motivation at this point.
Rule number 6, challenge yourself.
I was born and raised in a situation where it was much more than just a weight division or a sport with rules.
Right.
So for me, my growing process was preparing to fight the devil, you know, preparing to do what has never been done. And you have to have the spiritual elements, the physical elements, the mental elements, controlling emotions. So I start to adding breathing, ice cold baths, and meditation, and biogymnastica, and whatever I can do to you know, big wave surfing, whatever I can do to be calm under pressure and to handle nature and connect myself with the elements in a mental and a spiritual and a physical way, I will do, because it's a way for me to embrace the whole package in terms of there's nothing left behind. I put attention in my mental and my spiritual and my physical levels. Because sometimes you need the 3, sometimes you have more 1 than others. Sometimes you're injured, but you still have the belief, so it's still balance.
Rule number 7, focus.
I was start to growing up a little bit. I start to see all those values I learn on the street are not values I should take in my life if I want to grow up and represent what I want. So my mission, my passion for the family was take me away from that dark side of being just doing problems and start to become more an athlete and becoming completely focused on my life as a representative of jiu-jitsu.
Rule number 8, have a goal.
For me, I was never prepared myself to be a fighter. I was not seeking for elements to win an opponent. I was representing jiu-jitsu, you know. I was not seeking for learning box or learning elements to just be prepared with in all the corners to defeat my opponent in an event to make money or so. I was there to fight for free, to represent the art, to just acknowledge the fact what I'm being practiced is a legacy from my family, which brings a technique which enhances the weaker one in a fight to give possibilities. So I was focused on representing the family, representing the style. With this being said, you pick just a fight, but if you get any achievement, if you want to buy a car, if you want to get a girlfriend, if you want to buy a house, if you want to get a new job, whatever endeavor you focus on is somehow a challenge, somehow a battle, somehow you have to use martial arts. You have to use the ability to, because martial arts give you tools. The tools are connection, base, deflection, strategy, emotional control, the capacity for you to visualization, and other elements. So if you want to buy a car, you have to use strategy, the same way you use to to win a fight. You have to see how much you have to put in the car, or everything else after that. So basically, in order for you to achieve happiness, you have to be strategically correct. You have to be capable to control emotions. You have to be focused. You have to be perseverance. Nothing coming easy or for free. So, and happiness is always changing. What make you happy today, 10 years from now, is not going to be the same thing. You're going to have different goals, different expectations. So in order for you to really feel happy, you have to be present, you have to have a goal. My goal always been representing my family, and that's make me happy to go in a challenge situation, to represent my family.
Rule number 9, be strategic.
Right now, the white belt wants to be like the champion he saw. So he wants to be like a champion, and the champion work all these negative ways. So he start to be misled to a jiu-jitsu. He expect to be effective because he saw other Gracies in the cage. He saw a lot of things. He said, "Oh, I want to be effective. I want to be like, the Gracies. I want to fight. I want to be able to have self." But his style of training will direct him in a different competitive direction, which has the stallings. So it's important for me now. It's not about what the champions think about it. Okay. For me, the most important thing is re-educate the at least 85% of the competitive community who is still whites and blue belts.
What should a white belt encompass in their philosophy?
No. I mean, the learnings is always the same. You have to learn how to establish a position, have a weight distribution to be in control, how to escape from positions when you be in control, how to grab, how to squeeze. The techniques you learn are basically the same. But if you play the game in order for you to win a medal, you may gonna use installing games. Okay. If you play the game in order to be the best guy out there, you have to play the game in order to pass the guard, mount, submit. So one thing is your strategy to make the medal. Sometimes a lot of champions who go to the medal, they don't intend to be the best guy out there. He intends to make you confused, get advantage on you, and make the medal. And a lot of times people say, "Oh man, I was feeling, the guys just hold me, he don't want to fight me, and he sweep me at the end and make the medal." So that's not exactly the concept in our culture, because in our culture you want to engage to submit. So you want to escalate positions, escalate pressure to be able to go for the kill, not only to the medal. So you have to go for the pressure. Sometimes a very good strategist in the rules, he fights with less effort and is able to capitalize because the rules allowed him to stay in some positions who are just stalling positions. And the other guys get confused, and then the time passes by, and then the guy make a little maneuver, get a little advantage, and win the match.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is have fun.
Isso é sacanagem. Hard to pinpoint this guy because all over the world, as you know, since the explosion of jiu-jitsu has grown everywhere so much, and people like Rickson is always in need to teach class and change people's lives all over the world. We know that. Once we find out that he's going to be in Las Vegas here, got the word of it, and we decided that we should not wait any longer to get this red belt.
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and just get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of actually following through on your goals. That's not good enough. No, not for you, Believe Nation. We gotta do something. But when you write it down and you create a specific plan of action for the next week, that number jumps to 91% chance of you following through. And when you commit to somebody else, like leaving a comment on this video, it jumps to 95%. You need to follow through on your goals. So what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your specific plan of action for the next week? Put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
My mission today is to evolve the element of martial arts to the point where you have to win a fight without a fight. You have to win without a fight. So in order for you to do that, because if you're thinking about happiness, we all want to be happy. Doesn't matter if you're a fighter, if you're a lover, if you're a musician, artist, a professor, whatever you do, you put yourself in a situation where you're moving towards happiness. Because you don't want to be stagnant in a position where, oh, I don't know, I don't want to know what I want, or you don't want to be just without. You want to be with. So with desire, with happiness, with love, with inspiration, with motivation. And once you achieve something, no matter if you want to get a girlfriend, or if you want to buy a car, or if you want to get a new job, or if you want to just buy a house. So whatever venture you are in, whatever challenge, that becomes not an opponent, but a challenge who has to be dealing with the peaceful, the spiritual warrior mentality. Because the warrior is there to win battles. If you get a girlfriend, somehow you win strategically, mentally, emotionally, you get what you want, so you won. So that's a reason for you to get happy. That's a reason for you to become in a progressive way.
If you want to see the top 10 I did on Tim Grover, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
They're looking for the easiest way to get there. Winning is not about the trophy and the accolades. Everybody wants the end result and they want to feel